Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today. We're taking a deep dive into the fast-paced, incredibly high-stakes collision of classic Tom Clancy espionage and modern digital threats. Today, we're breaking down the intricate layers of Jack Ryan, Ghost War. We'll explore exactly how this story updates a legendary franchise for an era where, well, the most dangerous weapons aren't necessarily physical anymore. It's a completely fascinating evolution of a beloved character, so let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. What happens when global politics and cyber warfare collide? Well, the story wastes absolutely no time answering that for us. Right from the opening moments, boom, we are thrown headfirst into a tense global crisis. There's no long, drawn-out buildup here. Instead, we get immediate political instability and massive cyber attacks. It sets this enormous scale and establishes that the stakes are incredibly high, literally from minute one. You just immediately feel the weight of a world on the brink. Welcome to the new digital battlefield. See, the enemy in this narrative isn't your traditional army marching proudly across a border territory. Not at all. It's this shadowy, highly sophisticated organization capable of destabilizing entire governments and economies without firing a single missile. This is modern espionage, guys, where the front lines are entirely invisible. We're dealing with an enemy that operates in the spaces between networks, making the threat feel so pervasive and totally unstoppable. There is just a stark contrast between traditional warfare, your standard missiles, tanks, physical combat, and the ghost war threat. We're talking misinformation, hacked infrastructure, and widespread psychological manipulation. And honestly, this digital threat feels infinitely scarier to audiences because the manipulation of modern infrastructure is so highly believable today. It hits super close to home because it targets the exact networks we rely on every single day, right down to our power grids and our banks. Now, to make a sprawling plot like this actually work, execution is everything, and a huge part of that comes down to pacing. Ghost War is constantly shifting gears. We go from quiet intelligence briefings to tense undercover missions, high-speed chases, and then right back into gripping diplomatic tension. The pacing is arguably one of its greatest strengths. It maintains this relentless momentum and a constant feeling that something massive is about to happen. It keeps you firmly on the edge of your seat, even during the moments when no one is throwing a punch. Let's shift our focus to the man at the center of it all. Jack Ryan is a completely different kind of action hero. He fundamentally breaks the mold of that generic run-and-gun operative who just sprints headlong into explosions every 5 minutes. To understand why this story works as well as it does, we really have to look at how Ryan operates so differently from your standard action protagonist. He relies on brains just as much as brawn. The film grounds him first and foremost as the thinker. He's an analytical strategist trying to stay one step ahead of a massive global conspiracy. Instead of just shooting his way out of a problem, he's looking at the board, decoding complex geopolitics, and predicting enemy moves before they even happen. It's this profound intelligence that makes him such a compelling character to follow through such a tangled, high-stakes mystery. And this brilliantly illustrates the duality of his character, because he isn't just stuck behind a desk analyzing data, he's also the operative. The narrative seamlessly transitions him from a war room analyst to a field operative, escaping incredibly dangerous tactical survival scenarios. It's that precise, razor-thin balance between deep intelligence and visceral action that keeps the character so grounded and just thrilling to watch when things inevitably go wrong. Pivoting cleanly now, let's take an objective evaluation of the cinematic experience itself. We're going to look at the execution, the action, and a few notable flaws. First off, the cinematography is wonderfully sleek and authentic. It spans beautifully from these dark, claustrophobic Washington war rooms out to sprawling, crowded European streets and hidden military compounds. Every single location feels genuinely lived in and gives the whole piece this gritty, modern spy thriller vibe. And the action perfectly matches that visual tone. We get truly grounded action here. We're trading flashy CGI for quick, intense gunfights, brutal hand-to-hand combat, and just pure nail-biting tension. Relying on visceral realism and sharp tactical execution rather than nonstop superhero-style spectacle really helps this narrative stand out in a crowded market of over-the-top blockbusters. Every hit actually hurts, and every close call feels completely earned. All of this creates a deeply immersive atmosphere where nobody fully trusts each other. Alliances shift quickly, and every single conversation feels vitally important. That constant, suffocating sense of paranoia connects directly back to classic political thrillers like The Bourne Identity and Zero Dark 30. Fans of that serious, heavy tone will feel right at home with how every whispered exchange carries absolute weight and world-altering consequences. Now, to provide a fully impartial and balanced picture, we do have to note a few bumps in the road. We have some undeveloped supporting characters who are introduced with great mystery but disappear far too soon. There's also some heavily complex cyber dialogue and overly complicated, dense political layers. Just a fair warning, if you stop paying attention for even a few minutes, you might get entirely lost in the weeds of this labyrinthine global conspiracy. Moving into our final verdict and its real-world relevance. Look, despite those dense political layers, the climax of the story is incredibly strong. It delivers the ultimate suspense and moral conflict you crave, but it doesn't just rely on a massive mindless shootout. Instead, it forces Jack Ryan into agonizingly difficult decisions with impossible political consequences. That elevates the stakes far beyond a standard good guy beats bad guy ending. It is a genuine battle for global stability. So, the crucial point is that this film taps directly into modern fears about digital warfare, information control, and invisible enemies. This is exactly why this story matters today. It possesses a mature focus on how dangerous information itself can become when it operates silently, right behind the computer screens we use every single day. It leverages our real-world anxieties to elevate the plot far above a generic thriller. Bringing all of our analysis together, we arrive at a solid 8 out of 10. This is a strong, highly entertaining modern espionage thriller. While it might not entirely reinvent the genre from the ground up, it completely delivers the tension, the intelligence, and the gritty, grounded realism that fans absolutely expect from this universe. It's just a wildly engaging ride from start to finish. Which brings us to our final and perhaps most interesting question to consider. Where does Ghost War rank among the best Jack Ryan stories ever made? I want to leave you with that provocative thought. The legacy of this character is vast, and seeing him adapted so effectively for today's digital anxieties proves he is still deeply relevant. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this deep dive has left you with a clear understanding of the digital battlefield and eager to explore more of these incredible geopolitical puzzles.